Yo, what's going on, everybody? One Piece, chapter 910, man. Yo. First off, can we go ahead and just acknowledge the fact that Luffy is a fucking idiot? Yo, that scene when Luffy is grabbing those koi fish and they're jumping up the waterfall, and my man just uses his devil fruit ability to stretch out and grab a hold to him, and he basically slingshots the entire 1000 Sunny all the way up into the air. Jesus Christ, this dude's an idiot. Like, no wonder his crew separated from him. Like, at this point, Luffy don't do anything that kind of makes me sit there and say, what the hell is wrong with Luffy? Like, I expect Luffy at least once in arc to do something to where his stupidity knows no bounds, and yet at the same time, I'm expecting Luffy to get in a situation where he is ultimately bailed out because he's so unorthodox. And I gotta say, like, for a chapter like this, it wasn't a whole lot that goes on outside of it's like, oh, we're in a part of the ocean again where the weather's extremely crazy. That's always something that's very exciting for me when you read One Piece and it goes to different lands and everything. Just seeing how the waters react, like one of my favorite parts of Whole Cake Island was the fact that like some of the water was actual syrup. And so what I like here is how Oda in the artwork, Oda puts a lot of emphasis on the actual water itself and just how everything is constantly changing and shifting back and forth, where 1 minute you get this beautiful page spread where you see the rocks and everything and they're kind of shooting up, and you see the water and the whirlpools, and you have Nami looking at the whole situation, which Nami, that's a very hot design. That's one of the underrated aspects, in my opinion, of One Piece. I guess I shouldn't call it underrated, but one of the best aspects of One Piece is how like every new art, the characters get new character designs and new clothes and everything, so they never actually stagnate. And for me, as somebody that's coming over from Naruto, that's something that is very refreshing, because like for the most part, Naruto characters wear the same fucking outfit for the entire portion of whatever part of the series you're in, whether it be the first part in part 1, the second part in part 2, and then in the war arc, which I consider to be part 3 of the story, they all had the same damn outfits. And so with Oda constantly changing it up and constantly evolving, whether it be the clothes or the hairstyles, that's very nice, because even Nami right now, Nami's hair's done in a different way. And someone's like, yo, this motherfucker is sipping for Nami, man. Like, yeah, Nami's best girl, but like every single time Nami and the other characters in the Straw Hats, it's different outfits. It just shows you Oda puts a lot of thought and planning into these characters. But you know, when you see the actual water and how it's actually moving, Nami says this is gonna be too dangerous for us to be able to navigate safely, and Brook is like, hey Luffy, we need to chill out on this. But Nami corrects me, says like, look, Kinemon warned us that as we approach the water and the atmosphere, everything's gonna be very difficult. And Brook makes a good point. He says, well, you know, for a place like Wano, no wonder it's shut off and it's no man's land, because you got the samurai, they're mighty, you have these high winds, you have the crazy water, these crazy fish in the water. There's no way in hell anybody in their right mind can actually reach it. But you know, that's part of the journey right there, and that's what I've always liked when they go to these different islands, is seeing how they overcome these challenges. Like my favorite island that they visited was Skypiea, where they had to actually go up into the sky. Seeing these wacky ways that Oda manages to get the Straw Hats out of a situation like this is always something I've always looked forward to. And like I said, just the artwork on the way that Oda's drawing the actual water, and the way that, you know, he kind of makes it clear, like when it comes to the weightiness of all of this, you see how like in one panel, I want to say this is going to be on page 9 or 10, you have this one panel where it's a beautiful page spread, and you see on the left hand side this giant wave just kind of crashing down, and the whole panel just absolutely shifts. And then on the bottom part, you find out like not only are the waves in a situation where they're all over the place, but the water itself is just crystal clear. And even Brook is like, hey, I don't even need eyes, and I can see all the way down to the bottom. And what I like here is that you get another page spread where you see the actual waterfalls, and you know, Nami's like, How is there a waterfall at the end of the river? How does this flow work? And I like how just when the Straw Hats think that they've got something figured out, Oda throws another wrench into it. And what I like here is that, you know, Nami, because of how quick of a thinker she is, you know, Nami's like, look, I think Wano's going to be all the way up there. And what I like in this instance here is that, you know, Luffy, whether it be accidental brilliance, whether it be fate, it goes back to what I've said for a long time. All the different members of the Straw Hat crew that Luffy's picking, they could be captains of their own crews in their own right. And what's so brilliant about it is that all of them provide strengths that cover up Luffy's own weaknesses. If Luffy was left to his own devices, he never would have got out the East Blue. And yet, because he's assembled a crew like this, it allows him to be as reckless as he needs to be for whatever the situation is, because he knows that his crew is going to be there to pick up the pieces. And I think that that's the brilliant part of how the Straw Hats work. But, you know, Odo's doing a little bit of teasing there too. A little bit of teasing where you got like with Kaido and Big Mom, and there's some big news that's going on there because, you know, you get this situation where Nami says like, hey, you idiots, you cut out the backside of the paper because, you know, Sanji cut out all the pieces for Rebecca and for Vivi and Shirahoshi and what was the doctor's name? I called her the quack doctor when I was first reading One Piece. Dr. Kureha from, I believe it was Drum Island. You know, Chopper cuts it out, and, you know, Nami's like, wait a second, there's something going on with these two emperors of the four emperors. I need to be able to read this. So that right there, that's clearly Oda with the setup right there. So I thought that, you know, I thought that was nice, a nice little tease right there. And what's really, really, really good about this chapter is when you start looking at the different Straw Hats and you see the interactions, like at this point, you can just tell there's a lot of love between the various members of the crew, because I can't imagine being on a ship like that with like a pervert like Sanji and, you know, Chopper, you gotta kind of bring him out of shell a little bit, a tall tales person like Usopp. You got all these huge personalities. Shit is liable to pop off at any given moment, and yet they just bounce off of each other so damn naturally. Like, it does not feel forced. And, you know, that's a credit to Oda, because once you start getting these big ensemble casts like this, you know, you can tell like with some mangaka, it almost feels like they have to give every character a line of dialogue. It feels like, you know, if you got all these characters in a panel together, one of them's got to be doing something, one of them's got to say something. In some instances, it feels forced. Like, you don't have to have every character go through and speak a sentence or something like that, especially when it's written in a way to where everything that was said, the point being made, one character could have said all of it. But because you need to actually use the characters you have, some of these authors fall into a trap like that. But when it comes to Oda, I think Oda blends all the personalities together to where it don't feel forced. And I think that's part of the true beauty right there. You know, One Piece is a story about friendship as well, and when it comes to it, that friendship feels very natural. So, I mean, I thought this was cool. Now, the only thing I will say, I'll give Oda a knock here is, you know, Straw Hats being separated is something that's kind of gotten old, especially given what we just went through with Whole Cake Island, where the last time we saw the Straw Hats, not only did they separate because Luffy's crew went to Whole Cake Island, get Sanji, and then Zoro's crew went over there to Wano. But now you're in a situation now to where just as Luffy got separated from the crew in Whole Cake Island, now you're in a situation where it's like they're low-key separated again. It's something that kind of gets old. So I'm gonna be interested to see how Oda kind of has this, you know, having the panda, I believe it was a panda or a boar that had a sword. It was a baboon that had the sword. Luffy says, oh, we got an animal, he's carrying a katana, we're definitely in Wano. Again, it's one of those things where, like, I understand Oda's penchant for animals and everything, but, you know, I wasn't necessarily kind of blown away with this ending of the chapter here. But what I will say is that the artwork was absolutely impeccable on that one, man. But, you know, overall, I mean, this was another solid chapter. It's another clear setup chapter. But I got to say, for me, the most enjoyable aspect of this was how much emphasis Oda put on the actual water itself and the journey to actually land here on Wano. So my chapter question for you guys is, out of all the islands that we've visited so far, which island, in terms of the journey to get to the island, which one was your favorite and why? I'm gonna say right now, this is probably one where I gotta wait and see how the rest of Wano kind of fills out. But just based off what I've seen, I can see this kind of being up there with the Journey to Fishman Island for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.